Good day, everyone. My name is Chukwuma Eke, and I'm your host. Thank you for having me once again today, and thank you for being patient with me. Sorry for our last class that we could not hold on on Sunday because of poor internet connectivity. So this is the class that I promised I'm going to record for us, and is on live streaming, right? So I promise you everything that uh, I plan teaching us, I'm going to be highlighting them in this video and many other things. So just carefully watch this video and continue making your research for a better production in your church. Okay, thank you so much. So I know many of us already we know how to use OBS, but I will still record this part to help us. Then let's look at what we are going to do today from a standpoint. The point I want to start from today is a common scenario that is almost happening with many persons, not everyone, but especially beginners. When you are live streaming an event, you notice that the technical team, you are hearing their voice, and you are hearing their voice as they are discussing in their studio or their technical team stand or something, and you're hearing their voice. So what causes that is what many of us don't pay attention to. And whenever I'm given a new laptop to handle live streaming, this, like, the very first thing I do is what I want to teach us. Like the very first thing I do. And this, like, the very first thing I do whenever I'm given a laptop to handle live streaming. And once I do this, I'm able to mitigate that matter. I'm able to manage that that embarrassment of you live streaming and people are hearing your voice. Many of us don't know what causes it. So let me quickly adjust that. So I will show you. So let's look at my screen together. Let's look at my screen together. I will be zooming out now. Okay. So in order to solve that problem, you go to this your what do they call it now, your volume icon. This volume icon, you can see it. You right click on this volume icon. Okay, let me move this my camera. It's kind of blocking here. Okay, so you are going to go to this right click on this volume icon. What I'm looking for is this open sound setting. Then wait for it to come. Is opening. So there are some adjustments we are going to make inside the settings, or you can just go to the normal computer settings. Then you are going to search for sound control panel. This sound control panel, you can search for it. Then let me just click once. I'm waiting for a dialog box to come up. Once the dialog box come up, I will show us what you need to do to be able to solve that problem. So you can search this sound control panel from your setting. Yes, if you open your setting, you can search for it, and this same thing is going to come up because some people's window is different from mine. And for Mac users, I'm sincerely sorry. What I'm using is Windows, so you can check for these settings online on YouTube, so you can be able to solve your own. So this is my major place, recording. So you go to recording. What you are supposed to do is that you are supposed to turn off unnecessary microphones that are active in that laptop you are using for live streaming. For instance, this internal mic is what I'm using. You can see the signal. You can see the signal is beeping, that this is the mic I'm using. Also, this other mic is beeping, right? But I'm not using this one for my recording. So this mic, I don't like taking chances. That's why I do this. Most times, some people say leave it. Once you set the mic you are using in OBS, that will solve the problem. I've seen a scenario that I set I left this mic open, but I was still having that same issue. So when you come here, what you are going to do is to shut down, like this mic, your internal mic, the microphone, the internal mic of the computer. You are going to disable it. That's the microphone that you need for your WhatsApp call and all those things whenever you are trying to have Zoom call and you're using your PC. So you shut down that computer mic. And then any other microphone. Sometimes the microphone can come from your headset or your earpiece you are using to monitor your live streaming. Some headphone and what they call it, headphone um and your earpiece, they have their own inbuilt microphone. So you shut down those things because they'll be active here. So you shut them down. And then the next thing you do, let's assume this is, just make an assumption with me. Your sound card, you are going to see it here also. The audio interface you are using for your live streaming, once it's connected, you are going to see it here. In fact, sometimes to know that it's active, unplug it. Then when you open this place, you connect it. You're going to see that it's going to pop up. So you click on that particular one you are using. For instance, this is the one I'm using. So when you double click on this, it's going to open this place. There is nothing about this general. I don't need it. Then this listing is one of the things I need to check. When you click listen to this device, this is where you test if your sound is clean that you are getting from your live streaming. So if you click on this listen to this device and this playback, you can choose a playback. Like my own is speaker. If you have your earpiece connected or your headset, you are going to see it here. Then you choose it and then you check on this listing. When you check on this listing, you are going to also be hearing the sound from your mixer, right? So that is first thing to confirm the sound. Then you can remove, after listening to it and confirming that there is sound, you can check it and then also check this level. This is the very, very important thing that many of us don't know. Sometimes your sound is clean from mixer, your sound is good, but when you are streaming with it, it's sounding like as if it's a container. It's having one kind of echo or sound on it. It's sounding so harsh. It's having a harsh sound, but from the mixer is a good sound you are getting. And the sound guys are telling you that what they are giving is the best sound. So most time is because this your microphone boost is actually on the highest. It's not supposed to be on this highest, except if your sound is very low. That is when I recommend you use this and boost it to the, but I always encourage you, or my recommendation, I encourage you always keep it either 75%, which is this, or 50%, the middle. That is the center of it. Just leave it at the center or drop it very low. If you are going to improve your sound, increase the volume from the mixer, increase the volume from your sound card. If you're having Behringer or this other sound card we discussed in our first class, so increase your volume from that angle and then reduce this one. If you don't reduce this, it can bring noise in your stream, but you don't even know where the noise is coming from. So don't take this thing up, bring it down and just say okay. Now you've confirmed by listening, now you've reduced the level, you just say okay. That is okay. Welcome back. Thank you so much. I believe we are carried with everything about setting up our audio for the PC before we head to our software for streaming. So you're welcome. This is OBS Studio. Is a very powerful free tool for live streaming, not just live streaming, also for video recording. So most persons use OBS for video recording. This is what the screen looks like. Sorry, it's looking too scattered, but it's a very simple software to use. It's not complex at all. It's not complex at all. You have many inputs. We talked about our audio input, our video input, text, graphics and all that. OBS have a whole lot of inputs. You can see from this is window capture. This is the one I'm using to capture my screen while I'm OBS has integration with sorry, not vmix, VLC. OBS have integration with VLC that you can you can queue up videos. The way you can stack your videos in VLC, that is like a playlist. After this one play, so you can do 24-hour streaming if you have a stable internet. Most of these people that do 24-hour streaming, you see their channel is, some of them use cloud server, while others, if those that are in a more stable environment where the internet is stable, where power is stable, you see them, you can stack videos that can play for 24 hours, and then you can use OBS to achieve that. But this is where this VLC input will come in, and then this video capture device, you can bring in as many inputs as possible in OBS. But this one is the one we talked about in our first class about video capture devices, that you can connect your HDMI to USB converters. That is your capture card. This is what you use. Then you can bring in your text. You want to write text, you can bring in text. This one, there are different scenes. Then this media source, you can bring in videos. You can bring in image show. You can do something like a slideshow in OBS. This is something like this. You can create a slide using OBS. Just export your images. You can bring them in and automate them to be a slide. And then this is your images. You can bring in images, logos and all that, pictures, flyers during service. You can bring all that. Then this game capture, you can capture that screens in your system or other people's screen. Then this is display capture. You can capture a particular maybe I want you to see a tab, or I want you to see the slide that I taught you in first class. This is how I was able to capture it with this display capture. You can capture that. Then color source, then browser. OBS has so much powerful tools like this browser. We are going to experiment all these things. Yes, we are going to experiment each of these inputs individually. Then you see what they can do for you. Then this browser is something like you can, well, let me not say much until we start experimenting them. We are going to experiment each of them singly. Then this is audio output capture. Maybe you want to use a particular device to capture your audio. This is what you use. Then this is audio input capture. Then application audio capture. This one is still a beta. They are still working on this one. But this is many things you have in OBS for now. I'm going to go through this window capture. You can capture different windows like I mentioned. These are all the inputs you have in OBS. We are going to go to them singly from, like we are going to go each of them. I'll show you what they can do. And I will also recommend that you go over to other tutorials and see what these things can do for you in OBS. It's a very powerful software. Okay, thank you. So we are going to dive into that shortly. Okay, you're welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. So once again, like I mentioned, we are going to look at all these inputs singly, all the input I showed you earlier. So let's start with this first one. Let's start with this first one that pertains to our live streaming. The very first one is video capture device. This is the input that is enabling me to see my camera. The camera you are seeing, this is how I'm able to capture it. So if you come to this source, you say video capture device. When you open it, it's going to request which capture device do you want. Okay, let me cancel this and use this part so that you can see everything clearly. Let me delete this and bring in a new one. So this is plus. This is how plain your OBS will be. Then this is video capture device. Then video capture device, I can name it. This is my camera, the camera you are seeing that I'm using. This is the camera. Then I have a different camera that I can also add for you to see what I'm doing. So the other video is frozen. Why the other video is frozen is because this other one is active. The one before you is active. So that's why the other one is frozen. So let me put a different video source for you to see my webcam. Sorry, I don't have a camera, but I have a webcam to be able to demonstrate this. So let me say okay. Then let me click here and go back. So this is the camera I have, the second camera I have, right? So this is the second camera I have, and this second camera is the one controlling my, that is what I'm using to capture in this second video camera. So just by double clicking on this, it will open for you to see all the devices here. And there is something I'm going to explain to us later. This OBS virtual camera, I will explain it later to us. Then this HP camera is my computer camera. This USB 2.0 camera is the camera I'm using to record this video for you. Is this one you are seeing presently. So if I switch back to this is my computer camera. If I switch back to this is this other camera that I'm using, right? So let's leave this one here. So this is our sources. This is where you bring in all your inputs. So we have video input here. Then let's bring in our audio input. This is where you bring in your audio input. Look at audio input capture. The other one is video capture device. Why this one is audio input capture? So if you click on audio input capture, you are going to see all the microphones. Remember what I showed you in the earlier video, that you can actually disable the unnecessary microphones. Then it means you are going to see only the capture card you want to use for your streaming. When you see it here, you're going to select it. This is what I'm using to record. Then let me just still bring it in. This is it. So I've brought it in, but it's not showing, right? Look at, okay, can you see it? This is the audio capture device that I'm using. So I intended to play this sound for you. So this is the audio capture. This desktop audio you are seeing is the song I'm playing. The background sound you are hearing is what is playing. So why I encourage you, why I toggle this thing on, I want to have this background music in this streaming, but I also want to show you something, that you are going to turn off this audio, because I don't know if you've watched people live streaming before and you could hear the notifications in their PC, in their laptop. You can hear notification, WhatsApp, Telegram, notifications coming. It's because this desktop audio was on. So you turn it off. This is how to turn it off. You just click here, it's red, you turn it off, you turn it on. So this audio that I'm playing, you can hear it because this thing is turned on. But if I reduce it, if I turn it off, you see that the sound, background sound is out. If I reduce it, you see. So you can always reduce your volume here in OBS. This is what you do to reduce it. So it's a very powerful tool to do. And many of us have asked, we don't have camera, we have phone. How do we bring in phone inputs into OBS? I told you I'm going to share a content or a link for you to watch it. It was before that I was using phone, and I will also share a recommended third-party plugin that you can use. There is this V Ninja, something like that. I'll look for it and share with us. So that is what you are going to use to capture your phone into your, but in capturing your phone, okay, I'm going to talk about it next. In capturing your phone, I'll just talk about it, then I'll drop the materials you need for it. So this is how to capture your audio, and this is how to capture your video into OBS. So this is audio capture, video capture device. So I'm going to look at these other inputs now. We are going to look at browser, we'll look at these other ones, then we'll proceed from there. Thank you so much. Okay, you are welcome back. You're welcome back. Thank you so much. So like I showed us, this is where we are working from. These are scenes. You can see me moving from here. This is like you are setting up different scenes for your live streaming. This one is controlling my class recording. Why this is the one I'm using as practical? I can rename this. Let me rename it as practical. Practicals. So I'm using this for your practical. Why this is the recording I'm doing. So you can create multiple scenes for different services. Like some churches, you have different services. You can create a scene for your anointing service. You can create a scene for your communion service. You can create a scene for, so you can do all those things for different services in such a way that there are some graphics you don't need on a communion service, but there are things you need for a communion service. You can just create those things and keep them in such a way that you don't have to go over them all over to change setting for every particular service. So with this scene, you can use this to do all that. So let's go back to this input. You can see I turned this thing off. Look at, I mentioned to us earlier that OBS have this hierarchy kind of elder brother, younger ones. So this audio now is above this. I want us to bring in an image file still on this source. Look at it, this plus, look at image. Let me bring the flyer we are using for this class. So I will also recommend something for us, for those who are, for some of us who are streaming in churches. I want to plead with you that you label your input very correctly, because if you are not in service and somebody is going to sit on that laptop to work. Okay, this thing is, look at how full it is in my screen. I can just reduce it like this, but instead of doing all this reduce, just do Control F, it will fit the screen. Control F for Windows users, it will fit the screen. So this is an image. This image is overshadowing our video. Now, if you close the eye of this image, you are going to see the video. If you close the eye, okay. If you move this image downward, it's movable. You can see the video now is up. The audio is not like video or this, so it's not doing anything. But look at this video. If I turn the video off, you are going to see the image. So this is how this thing operates. So we brought in video, we brought in on image, we brought in audio. Then the next thing we are going to do, I want to show us a browser kind of setup. Right? So I'm going to show you. Let me bring in a YouTube video. So that I'll just use it to explain something to us. I'm trying to bring a YouTube video, not the one that. Okay. Pardon me. I'm getting a YouTube video, so just a link. I think to bring a link from my page is safer, so that I will not, let me not take a link that is monetized and they will not hit a strike when it's found in this video. Okay, let me bring something related to what we are doing about OBS, so that I can just be like I'm citing an example. Okay. Thank you. So I have a video now. So this is in what they call it now. Let me use browser now. Let's bring in browser input. This browser input is very powerful for some of us that our pastors travel, and you see they are streaming his meeting in a different platform, and this is where you paste the URL. Let's say your pastor travel and they are streaming his video on a platform, a different church platform. They are streaming his meeting, but you want to stream it on your own platform. This is how you bring in, copy the URL of the streaming that is ongoing and then put it here. Once you put it here, you are going to automatically restream that content. So this is how it works, but this one you must have internet to do it. So I'm going to change the width of this video. I'll put this one to 1080. This is full HD resolution, sorry. Then I'm going to say control audio via OBS. So I'm going to control this audio via OBS. Then control audio via OBS. Then what else? Okay, I think this is all. Just put the video, change the resolution, then control audio via OBS. That is just the only 3 things you need here for me. Then say okay. So when you do that, it's not turned on, it's still loading. So tap here small and go back. It's still loading. I think it's coming. Let's try to fade in. Okay, this This is still coming. I'm waiting for it. Okay, here it is. It has come. So this is a video on YouTube that is playing. This is a video on YouTube with a YouTube link. Then I'm going to interact with this. I don't want to see all this YouTube interface here. I'm going to interact with it. If you select, just by selecting this, you are going to see this. Okay, let's look at our audio mixer. You can see that the browser, look at the browser, has an audio. There's an audio in the browser. So I'm going to turn it off so that it will enter our recording. So that we will not have a strike from YouTube. So this is the video. So I'm going to interact with it. Look at this. Are you seeing this button? This button is saying okay, let me go back. So this is what we have. This is what we have in this input. So I'm going to interact with it. When you say interact, look at it. I'm going to click here and then say interact. This window will open. It's going to give me the leverage. It's still actually loading. It's still loading now. Once it's done loading, I'm going to interact with it in such a way that it's as if I'm on a browser. I'm interacting with a YouTube interface. You can see this. So it's like a browser in OBS. This is like a browser within OBS. So I'm going to make this video full screen, and then I'm also going to, the internet in my location has been terrible. Please do well to pardon me. It has really been terrible. So this is it. Let me toggle this thing on. So I'm putting this as full screen. Look at this. Look at my cursor. I've put it as full screen. Then you can change the resolution and all that. You know, if you click, just like your YouTube, if you click on it, you can change the resolution just by closing this. You can see this is giving me a full screen video. It's giving me, look at it, a full screen video. It's giving me a full screen video. But this, what I did, this browser input. With this browser input, you can bring it, just double click, you see this is just the video URL. Even this can work for even a live video. Say a service is going on in a different location, like I mentioned, those that your pastor travel and they are streaming in their platform. You don't know how to stream on his own platform. This is just what you can do. You can copy this link of the live video, then you just put it here, and then you can do this. Once you have this input, look at the audio is here for you. The audio is here. It's me that muted the audio. I muted the audio. So you have the audio like this. Once you send it here, you can control the audio. And then the only disadvantage with this, let me answer this before somebody asks the question. The only disadvantage with this, if the source where you are picking this video from, once their video is down, your own is going to be down because you are feeding on their live stream. So if they are having internet issue, you're also going to have internet issue. Even if your own internet is stable, right, you are going to have internet issue because you are feeding from their own output as your own input. So this is just the down part of this thing, right? So this is browser input. We brought in our browser. Then for VLC, you must have VLC in your system for you to use this VLC. Let me select this VLC for instance. Say okay. This VLC, you can like look at this place. You can set how you want this. You can check more videos on this to see how it works. You can look the playlist. You can create playlist of videos here. Look at this directory. This directory is that you can bring in a folder filled with videos. Let's say you are showing a movie and you want to use OBS to show the movie. You can use this. If let's say you are streaming videos online, you can put all the videos on a folder, then bring it as directory. Then this is URL. You can put a URL here, and then you still stream. Then this is this URL is more like you can have videos from your Google Drive, for instance. You can bring it here and play it. Then this is files. You can bring them as a single file, and then you can delete them. This is places to delete. You can add more. You can push the video. When you bring in multiple videos, you can push the video and say, okay, this one go up, this one come down, and you have all those things what you want to achieve with those videos. So you can shuffle the video. You say, okay, you know what shuffle is about now. Like your song, you are playing song, you say shuffle. You can shuffle, you can loop the playlist and all that, then you can. So that is what VLC source will do for you in OBS. Then this session is looking too long. Sorry, it's a bit long, but I needed to explain this to us. Then you can bring in slideshows. Slideshows, you just bring in the pictures, and this one, if you are going to do slideshow, I would recommend you to use 1920 by 1080 pixels if you are going to do the resolution of your image, so that it will be like a full screen kind of design. You can do your designs, bring them. You can automate it here. Yes, you can automate. Just bring it. This is how you bring the files. You can bring a folder filled with different files, or you can bring the files individually, and then just by playing with this place, you can automate your slide. Just see automatic slide, manual slide, and all that. Control, so you can control this slide just like you do in PowerPoint. You can use OBS to set up your slide. But let's go back to the main thing for our streaming. I'm just showing us this because it's needed. That, like this display capture, you can capture a, like what I'm using to capture my whole screen is this window capture. I don't want to open a new one. Is this window capture. If you select it as an input, it's going to capture your entire screen, just like you are seeing my entire screen is captured in this recording. So this is the window. Then this display capture, you can capture a particular window that is open on your system. It can be a browser, it can be a folder, it can be something to show a slide. Like the other day, I opened a PDF file on my Edge browser, and with this display capture, I captured it and I used it as a slide to teach in the first class. So this is your test. See this test now. I don't want to be very fast. I'm going to go over this. Let me just type Chukwuma Eke. See this test now. If you bring in this test, this is the test I have. So you look at the test. Look at this test. This test is here. You can type test in OBS. Then look at, if you select when you select this test, you can go to filter. You select this filter. This filter, I don't want to come here yet. If you select filter, then just select this plus. This filter is kind of effect. You want to add an effect. You can add a scrolling effect. Let me add a scrolling effect. Then just by pushing this, see my test is moving. My test is moving. You can add test and scroll it in your OBS. You can put these things. So you can check all these things out more. Look at, I've added an effect on my test. You can see if I double click and copy this test, and then let me see, I'm dropping this. Copy more. So these are, you can see the test is long. See the test is long. I've copied test and everything is showing. Let me show you how. So you can see the test. Everything is going. You can see the test effect. This is the test effect now. And so let's go back. So this is what you can do with OBS. You can do a whole lot of input in OBS. So these are different inputs you can do in OBS. For instance, I didn't mention this. This is our video input. Look at our video input. You know, computer is garbage in, garbage out. If you are going to do a setting on a particular input, you have to select it first. If it's audio, you select audio first. Like this video, I've selected this video. If I go to this filter, I can do a whole lot of things in this filter. Let me see. I can add. Let me try adding an effect on this filter. Okay. let me see, color correction. You can do color correction here. You can correct how this color. You can tune it. Look at this video is looking darker, looking brighter. You can tune your video. You can increase brightness. You can do all these things, right? Then you can return to default how it was. So you can do all that in OBS. You can touch all these things in your OBS, right? So there are a whole lot of things you can do with OBS. There are a whole lot of things you can do with OBS. So these are different things you can do. Hue. Look at my color has changed. You can see that I'm now looking different. For those, some people that have LED screen in their church, this is what a tool you can use to change the color of your background for your LED screen, just by using this hue shift. If you come here, when you bring in video loop, when you bring in what they call it now, video loop or your image, you can just come here and use this color correction to balance it and change it. So let me return to default. So I'll return to default. Let me add small color. So this is it. The same thing with audio. You can change the device of the audio you are using. Look at filter too. This audio, if we say filter, you can add a few things for this audio. Look at it. You can add compressor. You can add noise suppressor. Sometimes there is all those noisy sound you are having in your this thing. Maybe you don't want it. You can just come here and add. You can see that my audio has changed a bit. You can add the suppression level. Let me say I increase the suppression level. You can. My audio has changed. It's not sounding like before. So you can just delete it. When you delete this, the suppression will go. So these are things you can just do. You can even do same for your images. So you can do a whole lot when it comes to this input. So after having all this input, we are going to head to the next part of this video. After having this input, if there is anything about this input, I will recommend that you check the internet, check YouTube and learn more about this input. We have a whole lot to cover, so I won't be able to touch every single thing. That's why I'm just going straight. Then we are going to check on the live streaming. Okay, so thank you so much. Welcome back. Like I was mentioning, this is the input. So I'm going to head over to this control panel. This control panel, this is where your live streaming, the button is where you start. Then this is start recording. This is your virtual camera studio. If you go out from studio mode, this is what you are going to have. Yes, but we are in studio mode because I explained to you that we need this preview to do rough work, and this program is for either our recording or our live streaming where it's happening. Then this setting is one place I want to show us a few things. So this setting, let me open the settings and just show us a few things. Okay, so this is the setting. This is what we have in the settings. This is the general, and there are some key things I do in this output specifically. I check this show confirmation dialog when starting stream. I don't just want to start streaming automatically. I want to see a dialog box. I also want to see a dialog box when I want to stop. Then I also want to see a dialog box when I want to stop recording. But these other ones, I'm not going to have them. Then appearance is for your team. Then stream. Your streaming is where do you want to send your streaming? For instance, see YouTube, Facebook Live, Restream, and I also showed you our partners. Look at them, castarrow.io. They are official partners with OBS, so you can use them here directly. So if we are going to use YouTube, for instance, let me select YouTube. YouTube is down. So YouTube RTMP. This is YouTube RTMP. So if you are going to use YouTube RTMP, there is something very important we'll be needing. We are going to be needing our stream key. This stream key is like a code connecting your YouTube account and OBS. With this, you can link your YouTube account and OBS, your Facebook page and OBS. So you need stream key. It's a very key thing when it comes to live streaming. You need your stream key. Then you can connect your account automatically here. Okay, so this is the output. This output now, what we have in this output is you have a simple. In this output mode, you have what we call advanced. The interface will change when you take advanced. Then this advanced, why I like using it is because of my recording. If you are going to record in OBS, some people complain they record in OBS and the quality is not good. That what is the problem? So I encourage you to take this from simple, go to this advanced. When you go to this advanced, you are going to see streaming. You can configure your streaming, configure your encoder. If you are using a computer that is a high-end computer like a gaming system, you can choose um the what do they call it now? You can choose the graphics card. You are going to see it. If it's NVIDIA, you're going to see NVIDIA here and all that. So no need for this audio, changing this audio. Then this output scale, you can also change this output scale. Look at it. You can decide to change it to what you want, but no need of all this. So this is what we are going to be selecting for our output scale for streaming. This is it. You can type this thing and put the resolution for 4K if you want to stream 4K. Yes. Then this is recording. Recording, let me quickly show us a few things about recording. If you are going to record and have a very clean video in OBS, this is my recommendation. My recommendation is that you should change here to custom output. When you change it to custom output, you are going to, this place is your the part. This is where you are recording, where your recording is going to. So you select, like this is my hard drive. This is the folder I have for this recording. You can select this. If you open browse, you can set the location you want to direct your recording. And another thing I will encourage you to do for video bitrate, if you are using a gaming system, I recommend you set this video bitrate between 16,000 and 20,000 kilobytes per second, so that your video will be very clean. So this is my recommendation. Set it between 16,000 to 20,000 if you're using a gaming system. But if you're not using a gaming system, it's an average system, you have to stay between 10,000 or 9,000 to 12,000. This for recording, not for streaming. For streaming, part of the chart I gave you in the PDF that I shared, that the slide for the first class, you are going to see the different bitrate depending on the platform you want to stream. So if it's Facebook, this is where you are going to be changing it. If it's YouTube, you are going to be changing it. If you are going to be using 3005, this is where you are going to impute that 3005. And you have to be careful, so you will not put 35,000 instead of 3005. Then video encoder, I've told you this. So this audio, nothing much, you can just leave all this one. Basically, is this recording, and then this audio, I'm not going to touch it. You can just leave it this way. Yes, so you don't complicate things for it, so you can leave it. Then video, this is another point to take notice. Your canvas resolution, is this your preview window? This preview window is your canvas. Then your output scale is what you are going to be streaming to. Do you want your video to be a 1080 video? Do you want it to be 720? Do you want it to be 4K video? Do you want it to be 360p? Do you want it to be 480? This is where you are going to set it. So 4K is not here. It's you that will go on the internet and look for the resolution for 4K, then carry it and impute it into this place. Then you are going to have your 4K. Then this is your frame per second value, 30 frame. During your camera class, you are going to learn more of this, but just leave this 30 frame per second for now. I think this is the basics we need. This is just the basics we need for live streaming. I told you will be needing a stream key here. If it's YouTube, if it's Facebook, you're also going to be needing, where is Facebook now? This is Facebook Live. You're also going to be needing a stream key. And I'm going to show you how to generate the stream for both Facebook and your YouTube. So I told you we'll start with our YouTube first in this first class. So we are going to be test running YouTube today. We are going to be test running YouTube streaming today. So this is all we have for this session. So you can apply and okay it. That is all.